Are you sure you want to put those on? Those are not audiophile headphones, you know. Such an expensive price and no lossless audio. Heck, it doesn't even have a headphones jack. Ha! You're such a fool, Adam Lobo.
Hey guys, Adam Lobo here from Adam Lobo TV. Yes, I know I'm about 6 months late in reviewing these headphones. Now, to be honest, I've always been wanting to get the AirPods Max even before testing it out. Because firstly, I really loved the classic yet minimalist design, and I also love the color options available. Where as usual, I fell in love with the white color, or Apple calls it the silver color variant. But as months passed by, I still held my purchase. But when Apple announced that the AirPods Max will be supporting Dolby Music and spatial audio on Apple Music, I knew I had to get it right away. So here's my review. So the unboxing process of the AirPods Max was as sleek and clean as expected, where the box comes in white with just the visuals of the AirPods Max in front. Then at the back you'll find the visuals of the AirPods Max together with the smart case as well. Opening the box, you'll immediately find the headphones inside together with the smart case. Underneath, you'll find a user guide and the other manuals. Then below that, you'll find a USB-C to Lightning cable. So my first impressions when I took the headphones out from the box was that it was quite on the heavier side, which contrary to popular opinion, because the headphones just felt solid and, in a lack of a better word, did feel very premium. Now the build is exactly on a what you see is what you get basis, where the outer ear cups are made of aluminium with a satin-like finish on it, with one of the most solid looking and feeling stainless steel headband frame, where even the telescopic arms of the headbands also felt really solid with no sort of notches when making the adjustments, where it will stay in place depending on how you adjust it, where on top of the adjustments you'll find that it is covered with high quality PU. Then at the top part of the headphones it had a nice knit mesh canopy, which at first I was wondering why that Apple would use such material instead of typically putting a foam on top like most headphones out right now. And then I finally figured out why. Because of the ear cups being on the heavier side, this mesh-like fabric kind of carried the weight when you put the headphones on, where it did kind of reduce the overall weight compared to holding it when it's on your head. And speaking of the ear cups, the inner part is made out of cushion and a nice memory foam inside instead of leather, which means that you won't have issues like the Audio-Technica headphones or even many other headphones during years of use. And what's nice is that these ear cups could be easily removed and put it back magnetically, which means that this is hands down the easiest earpads to replace, where you can buy the ear cups separately, which I bought the black color variant, just for the sake of having the option of a two-tone like color. And the little hole inside of the ear cups is the proximity sensor, which is also used for the automatic hit detection. For when you take off the headphones, it will automatically pause the track or resume back when you put it on, which you can toggle this on or off in the Bluetooth settings. So I know what you guys are thinking. All this white. Does it turn yellow or does it get dirty easily? Well, for me, I've been using the headphones for close to a month and there were no signs of it getting dirty. And I also link a video of another fellow tech reviewer who did a 6 months review of the AirPods Max, and he also used the same exact color too, which is in this silver color variant. And of course, for me, I'll get back to y'all after I use this about a few months or so. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel in case you guys haven't done so. Now, while everyone, me included, can go on and on about how premium the headphones are, but a lot of people would complain to say they can't say the same for the smart case. Now, apparently there were a lot of people complaining about the design and how the case does not protect the headphones because of how exposed the headbands were, especially towards the top. But hear me out. In my humble opinion, I kind of understand why Apple did this, because you'll have to understand that this is called the smart case and not a protective case. Yes, there are other headphones that come with a shell clamp kind of case. But remember that those are for the sake of protecting the headphones and nothing else. And Apple has designed this more of an added accessory and also to experience the headphones in the smart case when you're not in use, as it will go into sleep mode where it allows the headphones to be on standby mode. Now why it goes on standby mode instead of turning it off? Well, simple. In case you guys do not know that the AirPods Max could be found through the Find My app under your device just in case you lose it. And for me, I find that even better as opposed to typically losing your headphones and not knowing where it is. And I don't mind charging the AirPods Max over and over again instead of not being able to find it when it's lost. But if you guys are really into really protecting the headphones from scuffs and scratches since you can't really fold the headphones, I found this cool headphones pouch that fits snugly for the AirPods Max, which I found on Amazon, which I'll link it down below in case you guys would like to get that too. So all the controls of the AirPods Max is available on the right ear cups, where there is a crown-like dial, which is like a supersized version of the dial available on the Apple Watch, where turning it clockwise or anti-clockwise will decrease or increase the volume. And what's nice is that you can adjust the direction accordingly to how you want it, from back to front or front to back in the Bluetooth settings as well. So this same dial, when you press it once, will pause or play back media, and for phone calls, it will answer or end a call. Pressing it twice goes to the next track, where for phone calls that will reject a call. Then pressing it 3 times goes to the previous track. Then finally pressing and holding the crown will call out Siri. Then next to the dial you find a noise control button which can toggle between noise cancellation, turning it off and going into transparency mode. So usually the pairing process for any accessory from Apple will be super simple and easy and quick. Especially with the H1 chip, which accelerates this seamless pairing, where once you take out the AirPods Max from the smart case, it will get your iPhone or iPad to immediately recognize the headphones. Now for some strange reason, if you like to use the AirPods Max with an Android device, you can do so by just pressing and holding the multifunction button, and once the light indicator blinks, you can find it in your Bluetooth settings. So, if you had the question on what works and what does not work on Android, well, based on my test, the noise cancellation works, the playback control works, but what does not work is the automatic hit detection and the voice assistant feature. So with this, I would say that you would get the best experience on an Apple device instead, especially with my personal favorite feature of being able to switch between devices, where for example, you're using your MacBook Pro or iMac and then you get a phone call, it will immediately switch to your iPhone, and then suddenly you want to play a video on your iPad, and if you receive a phone call right after that, it will switch back to the iPhone once again, since the H1 chip only works best and only works with Apple devices. Okay, so before I go into the sound quality of the headphones, let's take a look at all the listening options that we currently have. Now, I'm not going to talk about getting FLAC files downloaded in your phone and all, since that is not what the average consumer would usually do. So the easiest way to get you into music listening is of course through music listening services. Now I'm only going to be talking about the top 3 music services here in Malaysia in no particular order, which is Apple Music, Tidal and Spotify. And out of all, Spotify has just announced earlier this year about how they will be introducing Spotify Hi-Fi that will be out later. And no idea how much that will cost, but at this point of time, the premium membership without lossless and without Dolby Audio is priced at 14 ringgit and 90 cents per month for the individual membership. Now I've always been subscribing to Spotify, but when Tidal was made known to me, I jumped straight into that, but holding the Spotify account just in case. Where Tidal Hi-Fi on the other hand had lossless music and Dolby Audio, and it was priced at 29 ringgit and 80 cents per month. And the reason why I still stuck to Tidal, although it was way more expensive than Spotify, is the idea of having both lossless music and Dolby Audio was something that I really appreciated. And then, when Apple Music did a whole revamp of their app with a better interface with great curated playlists based on cities including Kuala Lumpur, my attention was now shifted to Apple Music. On top of that, Apple also came out to announce that they will be including lossless and spatial audio with Dolby Atmos in their subscription. At the back of my mind, I was like, okay, great. but I'm sure it's going to be more expensive than Tidal. But no, I was wrong. Because the price is also the same on how it was for Apple Music even before the introduction of this, which is priced at only 14 ringgit and 90 cents for the individual membership and even a lower 6 ringgit and 90 cents for the student membership. And mind you that this 690 is including all the high quality music listening of lossless and spatial audio with Dolby Atmos. So naturally, I made the switch to totally use Apple Music and finally cancelled my Tidal and Spotify subscription, and I think you should too. Now let's talk about the sound quality. Now when it comes to music listening, I'm going to put the exact playlist of the songs that I've tried and recommend down below, where I will at least include the 24-bit and a 44.1 sample rate or even more of streaming songs over there. So I've taken my time to listen to all kinds of genre of music, at least all, as much as I could. And yes, it did sound really good. Now I just love that how none of the music that I listened had any artificial flavoring to the sound, if you get what I mean. Where this sound quality on this 40mm driver was very rich and fits in every genre accordingly, where it felt like you can hear the actual sound or the song like it was meant to be listened to. Now I would say that the best part of the overall sound really comes from the mids and the highs, as it sounded really well pronounced without clashing with other frequencies within every single song. Then when it comes to the bass response, that I personally loved how the bass sounded like, where it sounded tight.
Tight, yeah!
Compared to the likes of Sony, for example, where genres like rock, jazz or even metal seems to drown because it always seems like brands like Sony tends to boost up the bass, where it will usually sound nicer on EDM or pop but not really sounding great on rock or metal. Then the opposite was the case when it comes to listening to Bose headphones, where it was great on rock and metal or jazz but not so pleasing to hear for EDM and pop in general. And here's where I feel that the AirPods Max finally gives me the best sound quality not only for other genres of music but also specifically for rock and metal, which I really very much appreciated. Now this is because I felt that every frequency within the songs came out on a separate pocket to make sure that every piece of instrument was properly heard. And as a musician and a songwriter myself, that is something that I really appreciated on the headphones. Now all of these listenings came in with the equalization turned off, which you can select the EQ accordingly if you want, which compared to other headphones that I've tested, these EQ adjustments that Apple had was way more apparent compared to some that had EQ just for the sake of having an EQ, which there were no apparent difference when it comes to the overall sound differences. And I have a quick pro tip that since that this is an Apple device, go to the accessibility settings and head on to audio visual and turn on headphones accommodation and choose balance tone and the slight boosted option to get the best level of frequencies, especially when it comes to the highs and mids, where these adjustments are only available for the AirPods series and Beats as well. And the ear cups did not feel extremely warm, especially with a humid weather like us here in Malaysia. And the reason could be is also because there was a sort of space between your ears and also the ear cups, which was really nice to know. Now speaking of space, let's quickly dive into spatial audio with Dolby Atmos. Now before anything, be sure to have all the settings enabled. Now this update will only work with iOS 14.6 onwards, where you'll need to go to Settings, Music, then switch Dolby Atmos from automatic to always on. And of course, under the music settings under audio quality, don't forget to toggle on the lossless audio as well while you edit. So to quickly run down on what exactly spatial audio with Dolby Atmos is, it is that essentially it's like Dolby Vision from an audio's perspective, where the separation from the vocals to individual instruments is like you are literally sitting down in front of the artist with having all the musicians around. And there are a few recommended artists that I would recommend listening to this Dolby Atmos, like Norah Jones' Shoot the Moon, Olivia Rodrigo's Happier, Billie Eilish Bury a Friend, and many more, which I'll link it down below for you guys to check it out. Then when it comes to watching videos on YouTube and Netflix was really great, with no latency or delay when it comes to audio video performance. And of course, since spatial audio and dynamic head tracking is available on the AirPods Max on Apple TV, where in case you guys do not know that it's a feature whereby the sound follows exactly to where your head is at, which is an experience that I cannot tell you how it is unless you really experience it for yourself. Then as for phone quality, this is surely one of the clearest and loudest that I've heard on any headphones. There were no echoing issues, and noise cancellation was also great when it comes to hearing the other person's voice, and the same could be said when the other person was listening to me as well. And yes, here is a quick microphone test. This is a microphone test with the noise cancellation turned on. Test 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2. Now I'm turning on the Dyson Pure Cool Me right in front of my face. And this is a microphone test. Test 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2. And speaking of phone calls, also worth mentioning is the fact that when you receive a phone call while you have the AirPods Max on, Siri will announce the name of the caller and also read your incoming messages as well. So when it comes to noise cancellation, this is surely one of the key strengths of the headphones, where it does remove inconsistent noises like spoken voice, passing cars, wind noises, and mostly towards the higher frequencies, and seamlessly toggling it on or off was also a huge plus for me since the button is quite tactile as well. And of course, this button can also toggle the transparency mode, where it uses 8 out of the 9 microphones for this to really amplify the overall sound, where with the incoming iOS 15 update, it will also amplify them for people who have mild hearing problems. And honestly guys, there is no other headphones that does it better when it comes to the transparency mode with the AirPods Pro, and now even better on the AirPods Max. Then as for the battery, using this every day for about a month gave me an average of 18 plus to 19 hours of battery with maximum volume and noise cancellation turned on. And considering the fact that the headphones are never turned off, to me that is actually really good battery life, since most of the time we are only at home at this point of time, not so much on the go, and that for me again was a great battery life overall. Now while I do wish that the charging port is in USB-C instead of lightning cable, but what's nice is that you can plug in the cable to charge while listening to the headphones, which was kinda neat. And I found that when about 5%, a quick 10 minutes plug-in will get you close to an hour plus, and that was another huge plus. So with this, should you really get this AirPods Max? Well, yes and no. Yes, if you really want a high quality build with one of the most aesthetically designed headphones, because this is something where images or videos online does not give it proper justice. Yes, if you want a headphones which sounds extremely well for all types of genre of music instead of buying a headphones which is catered to a specific type of music. Yes, if you want one of the best noise cancellation headphones out right now, especially when it comes to the transparency mode as well. And the final yes is if you're within the Apple ecosystem, because you'll just love the seamless switching between devices. And where no comes in, if you're looking to play lossless audio. Why? Because the answer is plain and simple. Any Bluetooth headphones cannot play lossless audio. Plain and simple. So for those of you who complain, oh, lossless audio can't play on Apple devices, you should not even be watching this video. Now what needs to be understood that Apple has created the AirPods Pro and the AirPods Max as convenient Bluetooth audio devices. And if you really want to listen to lossless audio, like I said, I don't think you will be even watching this video. And you already gotten yourself a DAC, also known as the digital audio converter, and an audiophile wired headphones to really take advantage of that. And it's nice that Apple Music gives that option of having lossless audio. So if all the yeses mentioned earlier is what you want, then yes, you should get it, and I'll leave links down below including some cool accessories which goes along very well with the AirPods Max. Alright guys, that's my in-depth review of the AirPods Max, although 6 months late, but I feel that I got my hands on the headphones just at the right time. Aside from that, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and found this video helpful in making your purchase decision. If you did, be sure to give this video a nice big thumbs up. that would be very much appreciated. My name is Adam Lobo and I'll catch you guys in my next video.